Hi, I'm Jamie, and today I will be introducing Grace Holloway from the Eighth Doctor movie. Grace is a cardiologist from the late 20th century San Francisco, and her work brought her upon the Seventh Doctor who got shot, but she was trying to save his life and ended up making him regenerate into the Eighth Doctor. Oops. She is a companion from 1996 only. Intelligent, feisty, and independent, she had a strong sense of humor and a good love for the opera. At first, she didn't believe the Doctor to be an alien from a different planet. However, once convinced through evidence, she proved to be a good ally for him. In fact, falling in love with him. And she even noted that she had finally found the right guy, but he was from a different planet, of course. The Doctor described Grace as being bored of life, but afraid of death. And in fact, in the movie, she ended up dying, but came back to life, and was in fact enlightened, learning that, hey, it's not all that bad, and she overcame death.
Grace, I came back to life before your eyes. I held back death. Look, I can't make your dream come true forever, but I can make it come true today.
Give me the gun. Okay, give him the keys!
Despite this, she refused the Doctor's offer to travel with him, and in fact didn't want to learn about her future from him, preferring to have it unknown.
And Grace, something you should know.
Don't tell me.
Why not?
I know who I am. That's enough.
I'm glad.
Grace is a somewhat unique companion, with the fact she only appears once, and her only TV canonical appearance is in the Doctor Who movie, 1996.
Wait, why once? That's bad. Really bad.
Interesting subject, let's get into it. Now on to a subject that we're gonna call universal hell. This was the most interesting aspect of Grace for us, and probably one of the reasons why we're so excited to cover it, because you never see anything else of Grace outside of the Doctor Who movie, and usually people wonder why. Here's why.
I'm in limbo.
So how the Eighth Doctor movie pretty much got its start was, through the BBC, but then they had an American distributing company called Universal who helped them make it. And there was a deal that was struck, pretty much. And the companions Grace Holloway and, what's his name again?
It's Cheng Li.
Cheng Li! That's right. Cheng Li, the Asian child. They belong to Universal, pretty much.
I'm in limbo.
Universal owns them, and because of this fact, they belong to Universal. No one else can use them, not even the BBC. It is pretty sad, though, that the BBC doesn't really own Grace or Cheng Li.
But we can fix that. All we have to do is just take action and go to Universal Studios and get rid of those motherfuckers and get those rights back!
Or we could just, go to Universal and wear t-shirts that say, "Give us Grace and Chingley back." That works too. Despite only appearing once, she also appears in some novels and comics. Now, the ones that she does appear in for novels is a novel called The Novel of the Film. I think it's pretty much explanatory. It's about the film. The next one she appears in is Shroud of Sorrow. And then The Big Bang Generation.
Actually, there was a second novel taking place, but Universal said, fuck no, to the BBC for making it because of development hell, or Universal hell, as it were.
And then after that, for the comics that she appears in the Doctor Who magazine ones called The Fallen, The Glorious Dead, and The Flood. And then after that, for her other comic book appearances, she appears in the IDW publishing ones. And there's one called The Body Politic, and then Endgame. Grace has a life after the Doctor, obviously. So there's many different reports of it, and it usually takes place in all the comic books. And one of them is from, the comic called The Fallen. And it pretty much is after she returns to Earth, Grace begins examining the remnants of a substance the Master spat at her during the 8th Doctor movie. And this led her to working with an M16-sponsored genetics lab for creating a human Time Lord hybrid capable of regeneration. When Holloway was later reunited with the Doctor, he chastised her for this, though they ultimately reconciled and parted company with another kiss. In the Doctor Who movie, the Doctor said that Grace was going to be known for doing great things. And also, she is said to have survived the Cybermen invasion of 2005, and concluded that the Doctor must have stopped them. And that takes place in the comic The Flood and Hunters of the Burning Stone. There's even a parallel universe for Grace, and this is what it says. In an alternate universe, the 8th Doctor married Grace instead of returning to his travels through time. The Doctor had some trouble adjusting, but got a stable job being a professor at a university. And on one occasion, they invited Ted and Alice over for dinner. And that takes place in the comic The Glorious Dead. So now we're on to trivia about Grace. And this is going to be a very long one. An interesting one. Hang tight. Okay, so according to a media coverage of the film in 1996, had Doctor Who been revived as a series at the time, Grace Holloway would not have continued as a regular companion. However, later on, Philip Davil Siegel, who was the producer of the TV movie, stated that, for record, Dr. Grace Holloway would have returned as the 8th Doctor's companion had Fox greenlit the series. Mr. Siegel made this statement during the TV movie reunion panel discussion at Gallifrey 1 convention, held in Los Angeles on Saturday, February 18th, 2012. Daphnie Ashbrook, the actress of Grace herself, also confirmed at a Q&A session during San Diego WhoCon in 2016, which I was at. She stated that she had been taken aside during filming of the TV movie and asked if she'd be interested in coming back if the show went to a series. I do remember that happening. Due to complex licensing issues, Grace is one of a handful of pre-2005 characters not available to Big Finish Productions for use in audio dramas.
I'm in limbo. I'm in limbo.
This has not prevented her from appearing in comic strips and comic books, most recently in the comic miniseries Prisoners of Time in 2013. An obscure photograph of Grace was included on the wall of companions seen in the television story The Day of the Doctor, positioned to the top right of the Brigadier's photograph. However, in the 2014 documentary The Ultimate Companion, a clear image of the photo is seen and is revealed to be a photo of Grace standing next to an unidentified unit officer, in similar fashion to another photograph on the board that digitally unites Mike Yates and Sarah Human. Grace also exclaimed at one point, "I finally found the right guy, and he's from another planet." We've been there, girl. Although the 1963 and 89 series occasionally gave subtle hints of attraction and even romance between the Doctor and other characters, Romana. This is the first time a character identified as a companion has been heard to directly express attraction towards the Doctor on screen. And she was also the first companion to share an on-screen romance and kiss with the Doctor himself. Now we're on to trivia about Daphnie Ashbrook, the actress who played Grace herself. So, she is the only American to portray an on-screen companion in the series, and that's notwithstanding the publicity that maintained the fiction that Nicole Bryant, who played Harry Brown, was an American, or even John Barrowman, who used an American accent even though he was born in Scotland. Even though she isn't allowed to play Grace in the Big Finish audios, she does portray a character called Perfection in the Big Finish audio drama The Next Life. And it's alongside the 8th Doctor too. Daphnie Ashbrook also returned in 2011 to Big Finish to play another character called Unit Captain Ruth Matheson in the audio stories Tales from the Vault, Mastermind, The Screaming Skull, and The Tactics of Defeat. According to an interview with her included on Tales from the Vault, right issues prevent her from being able to reprise the role of Grace in Big Finish, Universal Hell.
I'm in limbo. I'm in limbo.
Fuck you, Universal.
Hopefully one day Universal will lay down their swords and free those two companions and bring them to us. And we can finally have Grace and Cheng Li the way we should have all along.
And then we can go to Universal and then we splash butterbeer in their frickin' face until they do so.
That works too. Let's get a whole entire gang of Harry Potter people and just free them from Azkaban. Grace is also the last companion from the classic Who era. And that's not including Cheng Li himself. Cheng Li is kind of a controversial debate of whether he's a companion or not, because of the fact he's pretty much an antagonist towards the Doctor in the movie to begin with, because he's siding with the Master. But once he finds out the truth, he kind of becomes a companion at the end of the movie. So it's like a 50-50.
Well, it's more like 75-20. So in 75% of the movie, he was the Master's bitch.
Yeah.
In the last 25 cents, he was actually a companion. So maybe we're not. We'll cover a video on him, but yeah.
But Grace is a for sure definite companion of the Doctor's. So yeah. So my opinion on Grace, she's a really good companion. She's actually another one of my favorite companions. I liked her feisty attitude. She was kind of, she had good morals about her. In the movie, Cheng Li tries to pretty much steal the Doctor's stuff when he supposedly dies. And, off of the bat, she's like, "You're not with him, are you, kid? I know there's something about you." And then, she tries to chase him down and stop him. And she just has a really good heart. And, it's hard for her to believe that, okay, this guy's he's saying he's from a different planet. Is he not mentally insane? But she has good morals about her. I love her feisty attitude. And God, I wish we would have had her back.
She did look really nice in that teal dress that you wore in the beginning of the video.
Yeah, the opera dress that she wore to the opera is so pretty.
Yeah, very nice. Granted, it didn't show a lot of leg like Tegan Jovanka right there. But you know what? That teal dress was awesome.
At WhoCon in 2016, Michael and I actually had the pleasure of meeting Daphnie Ashbrook, who played Grace herself, along with Eric Roberts, who played the Master in the Doctor Who movie. And they were the sweetest people ever. It was fun to go to the panel and hear her talk about her experience in the Doctor Who movie. I do remember her saying that, Grace would have returned if the attempt at making Doctor Who come back in 1996 was, greenlit. She also talked about the fact that the teal dress that she wore to the opera was very cold, and how they were in an abandoned hospital and it was just freezing, but you know, they had long hours of filming, but the cast got along and they made this movie. And even though at the time when the movie came out I didn't get much out of it, it actually became a cult classic and it's a favorite among people, and it's really good to see. Should see it.
Eric Roberts, if you ever watch this one day, thank you so much for actually telling me I was actually a really great filmmaker, so thank you very much. Plus, Daphnie Ashbrook, she actually was a really sweet person when I met her too, so that was actually a positive experience at 2016 FoodCon. So, yeah.
We'd love to have you guys back! So, if anyone tries to buy this movie online, it's really expensive now because of the fact it's not really produced or put out there as much anymore. So if you do try to find it, at least try to find it like on, you know, sites like eBay or something for cheaper. It's out there. You just really gotta look for it.
You might be able to find it cheaper on Blu-ray actually, since they re-released that some time ago, but the DVD version of it kind of is harder to find.
And it's really cool because on it actually, for the special edition that we have, it has a commentary of like what went into making the movie, like all the stuff, like how they came across the idea of making it too, and what Siegel had to go through with the BBC and everything. It's a long, strenuous thing, but he didn't stop fighting to make this a thing. Thank you all for watching. If you've liked this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel for more content. We will also be going to HoopCon coming up soon on the 4th, and we're doing a panel into the introduction of Classic Who. So if you're there in the area, please come join us. Next video, we will be covering Leela from the 4th Doctor's era.
I'm in limbo.